So what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short, or Divine Starseed. I'm not going to do a whole lot of pre-channeling. It's Mercury Rec, okay? And I like to think of Mercury Rec as an, retrograde as an ally and not necessarily an enemy, even if it can frustrate me at times, because it really just means it's time to reprioritize, slow down a bit, communicate more carefully, pay attention to what you're really feeling, really picking up on and thinking, and making sure that you're not crossing your wires or anyone else's wires. And right now we're tapping into the energy of what's something that you should be taking a chance on. This energy came to me a few days ago, and it's been consistent and constant since. Some of you have different maybe opportunities that, it's not saying to rush it. Let me be clear. It's not saying to rush the opportunity, but some of y'all are letting doubts or fears or, just kind of feelings get in the way of really banking on yourself, giving yourself a fair chance, and whatever that may be. And so we're just tapping into spirit, pointing out what some of that could be that's getting in the way, maybe what it is that you should even take a chance on. And we're going to make this a little interactive. Before we do that, this is a collective reading. Only take what resonates to and for you, leave what doesn't. You are always responsible for your actions and reactions to divine guidance, to these spiritual messages, and you have your own intuition, my love, so tap into it, utilize your discernment. Without further ado, I'm not going to use the tarot. We're only going to use this meme deck, and as you can see, it is very, very chunky, okay? We're not going to use the other cards that came with it, because I'm going to allow you to be interactive by where there's a blank image. What are you seeing? What's coming to your mind's eye? Okay, so start off by shuffling the deck, and then we're going to get into the aura colors. These can be colors that you're meant to wear, can also be a part of your aura. Colors that you can tap into to help advance the attributes of the color in your life to utilize for your highest good. Okay. So by all means, disclaimer, this is not talking about gambling, like going to a casino, playing the lottery and all that jazz. It's just evaluating the chances that you should be giving yourself and the opportunities that you should be seizing and how you should do it. But again, bear in mind that it is Mercury Reg, so be mindful of your frustrations, stay in high vibrations. I've also channeled, I'll get into this more in a separate message, but I also channel to be very mindful of entities creating situations or problems that will distract you and throw you off your game. Because if they can keep you in a low vibration, then they can keep you off of your path, and you get where that's going. If you want a more clear understanding of that, check my Insta story. I posted something there. It should still be there by the time this video posts. I was trying to make a reel of it, but the reels kept glitching. I will also have a reel of it once they start acting right, or a regular slide like carousel post. So just be, follow Mamina Divine Starseed and you will see it pop up. Let's get into the message. We have, when you wake up and realize it's Saturday. So this is where you tap into your gift of insight for a second, your gift of visualization and what is coming to you. Don't try to force nothing. Take a deep breath. And what do you see, especially as I start to channel the message coming through for this card? Some of you are feeling so out of it. Like you have things you want to do. It's not that you lack ambition. It's more like you're lacking maybe the physical or mental drive. It's like, I know what I want to do, or I have this idea to do, but some type of doubt, fear, or just tiredness. Like I say, think of it kind of like when you want to clean, right? Like, most people like want to clean. Well, yeah. Imagine you want to clean. And you're like, okay, I got this whole room to do. You're like, yeah, it's going to be clear. I'm going to be able to move around in my space, blah, blah, blah. And then you start thinking about all the stuff you got to do. And you're like, shit, now I'm tired. I haven't even started and I'm already sleepy. Like, you know what I mean? It's that kind of vibe. And so you might put it off and say, I'll do it in an hour. You know what? I know I want to do it now. I have an idea of what I want to do. I'll do it Monday, maybe Wednesday. Day pass, whole week pass. And then you're like, fuck, relax. The room is in the same condition. You still got stuff that you need to do, but you haven't been moving on it. I'm also picking up on, and this is the first thing I actually picked up on, was Saturn energy. Okay, so for some of you, the day is going to be different here. That's the other days that channeled, but it's about that Saturn energy, something that needs to be banished, purged from the system. I heard Shadow Day Saturday, which was the videos are still on my channel, but I used to do these every Saturday. I would do a shadow reading, a short or long shadow reading for Saturday on what energies you might need to be, cleansing up or healing and etc. And somebody needs to do that so they can get rid of this like fatigue that they're feeling. And this is also saying it's time to get disciplined. Mercury rec is also saying slow, because I remember I said Wednesday, the day of Mercury. So it's like slow things down and do them bit by bit. It's not saying that you can't do all that you want to do, but you might be trying to do it all at once, or at least your brain is thinking of it all at once. And then your body's responding by feeling, it's manifesting in your body as the tiredness. Maybe even feeling just like a little sick, a little under the weather. We have when your body is somewhere, your head is not. When your body is somewhere, your head is not. Right? So it pretty much confirms what I was saying. But what are you visualizing here? Like, what are the images coming to you? What are you seeing? That helps to clarify the message even further for you. It's definitely confirming what I was already picking up on, but I'm also sensing somebody, you might be doing something that, so you have this one goal, maybe multiple goals, but let's say you want to start something that you've created with your own hands, and right now you're working a basic 9 to 5 to support it. Perhaps there is another job or another thing that you could do, but you're kind of afraid to leave the current one because you don't want to be butt out. So you're not really taking the chance on yourself to say, this work environment I'm in right now isn't suiting me. I need to move on to something better. Instead, you're staying where you think you're safe, even if you don't necessarily feel completely like secured in the position. And it's leaving you with this feeling of like, God, this just drains my energy. Like, I just don't want to be here. And so when it's time to work on those dreams and those goals, you just don't have the energy for it. So for some of you, there's a space, could be where you live. If it's a space where you live, you need to, the solution here, you have to create, even if it's in your own mind for a while, a sacred space that you can get tranquil in. If it involves, waiting till everyone's out the house, whatever it is, whatever time you have of a moment of peace and silence, you need to get your mind right, because the mind is feeling all these other things and it's making the body respond in a different way, and it's throwing you off. For others, if it's a job, some of you feel like you're not secure at a job that you have right now, but you're still doing it. And I feel like that's because maybe there's someone that you feel kind of has it out for you, or you just kind of like this isn't secure. This is like something you do for a moment and then you move on to something better, but you've been getting away with maintaining being there for a while, so you're not allowing yourself to come out of that comfort zone. For others, it's just a comfort zone. Honestly, it's just a comfort zone. This thing that you're not acting on right away, whether it's cleaning a space, getting your business in order, creating something, for readers, maybe it's a deck, whatever it could be. Whatever that procrastinating thing is, it's also taking place because the head is like in one space, the body's in another. They're not working together. They're not balanced. And so you need to do things that will balance the body and the mind. That's the Cliff Note version. That's the short version. Let's see. So I kind of feel like those two things are, and I say kind of because I'm channeling a lot of stuff, and I want to be very mindful how the communication is coming out for you guys. But that feels like what's getting in the way of taking a chance on yourself or on a goal or a dream. That's what's getting in the way. Those two things, they're very connected. This card feels like it's really just explaining the other. We have When you haven't eaten in over 5 minutes, somebody doesn't feel fulfilled or full. We're just gonna cut to the chase with that one, okay? And how it plays. Someone, and I don't feel like it's necessarily because even if you're doing your dream thing already, you're not maybe doing it the way that you want to, and you're letting that kind of get in the way of your momentum and drive a little bit here. And when you get into this starving mentality, success comes harder. You know the expression, work hard or go home? It can be detrimental. While it has helped a few, it's also made them miserable in the same time. Work smarter, not harder. And work with authenticity. Be sincere. So it's not about being lazy. It's not about just wanting leisure and that's it. But it's also not about, I go and 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 I don't live my life and I go. Because what's going to happen is, yeah, you might start getting the results for some things you want, but you're not getting them in a fulfilling way. And then 5 minutes later, and the number 5 is important here. So Saturn energy and 5 is important. And Wednesday, Mercury, the day of Mercury is important. 5 minutes later, after just having something that would have been fulfilling to maybe you in another, a year ago, or would have been fulfilling to someone else, isn't for you. And it might make people think that you're just like seeming kind of overly ambitious or hungry, but when you self-evaluate, it's like, no, it's just the thing I'm doing isn't it. Something's got to give. I need to change my mentality, maybe change what's going in my body, maybe change like something in these two spectrums, the physical and the mental, needs to change so that this fulfillment energy can come in and you're not just starving you after 5 minutes of getting something you asked for or something that you needed. For others, somebody else is trying to interpret to you what success, whether it be successful life, successful wife, successful whatever. It's like they're trying to interpret to you what that means. And you're not vibing with that. You're not gelling with it. It's not for you. Someone else's plate isn't for you. I feel like someone's giving you a cracker off of maybe their plate, or giving you a cracker instead of the full entree and expecting you to be full. So when you're like, it's like when you've eaten and 5 minutes later you want more food. You haven't even eaten in over 5 minutes. Like, it's only been 5 minutes. You start stressing because you're like, didn't I just do or just have or just make or just create? Why am I still feeling this way? Because of the reasons I'm mentioning here. Either you're living up to someone else's expectation of what fulfillment and full and success should look like. You've created a very stern version of it in your head and you're not letting the universe flex. Or you're working really freaking hard and you're not actually enjoying yourself, which means you're no longer working that dream job, because your dream jobs are fulfilling, right? So now you're working this like very structured robotic thing and it's just not cutting it, and you find yourself starving after the fact. The same thing applies to a relationship as well. You could be dealing with friendships, family, or again partners, platonic, whatever, and you're not, it's like, yeah, I just hung out with y'all, but I'm feeling like I was still by myself 5 minutes later, as if we just didn't do anything, or the conversation just isn't stimulating me. It's just not doing it. So what needs to change? Is it something in you? Is it something in them? Or maybe you've been putting up with trying to stay in a certain box that you don't need to be in. Okay? But something's got to give here. We have walk the walk. Walk the walk. So if if you're tolerating something you're not supposed to, or if you need to be more diligent in something and you keep procrastinating, it's time to stop doing that, and it's time to put the foot in front of the other and really walk the walk and really do what needs to be done. When you haven't eaten in over 5 minutes. 5 minutes ago I ate something, I didn't feel full, now I'm hungry again. It's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. It's time for me to, I gotta rearrange something, rearrange the people around me. Something's gotta give for me to not be fulfilled after only 5 minutes. You know, something's got to give. Ooh. Ooh. They told me to think outside the box. So when I said that, that was confirmation to many of you. Because your guides or your higher self, I always tell you guys a lot of times it's all the above. Your higher self, your guides, the divine itself is like moving through you, trying to give you hints, trying to tell you what's up. And if your consciousness isn't open to the message, you're only getting it like cryptic or in bits and pieces. You've already been getting that sign. I need to think outside the box. I need to stop putting myself in a corner. I need to stop thinking success can only look one or two ways. I need to stop thinking that certain phrases that I've just adopted for so long are the only way. The same way I say, work smarter, not harder. See, that's going to translate different to different people when it comes time to implement it. For some, it's not saying, again, to just lounge around because they like movement. They like being in action. But it is going to say, how much are you investing in the feeling fulfilled part, the enjoying it? Are you enjoying working? Are you enjoying that thing you're creating? Or are you just stressing about it only? That stress is going to go into what that is that you're producing. And even if it's successful, you can't enjoy the success. That's a problem. Because now here you are 5 minutes later, like, shit, kind of feel like I didn't do too much. You got to change how you're walking. You got to walk the right walk here. Think outside the box. Let the universe flex. Ooh! Another reason to walk the walk. What was I just talking about? When no one else is listening to you. My love, when no one else is listening to you, you listen to you. When you are intuitively, again, separating intuition from opinion. When you are intuitively, instinctively feeling that there is something else you need to be doing and or a better way to go about what you already are doing and what you already love. Maybe you also feel like doing one thing just isn't fulfilling for you, or doing too many things isn't fulfilling for you. Rearrange what you need to. Take the chance by learning what you may need to as well. Because here's the reality. You can study what you need to know up and down until you know it forward, frontward, and backwards. You're still going to have to take the chance and actually do some ish in order to really see how it's going to be implemented for you. There doesn't have to be a such thing as a failure. That is a very human concept, but there is a such thing as a lesson. Okay, I did something. It didn't work out the first way I planned it. Did it fail, or did I just give myself intel on what I need to do to change it? Because there are a lot of people who wish that they already had the key on what not to do. So if you're either getting that result through your own mistakes or failures you're making right now, or maybe because someone else is trying to paint a picture of what certain things look like for you, it didn't really work for them. Let's just bust the bubble on that, because for many of them, that's not how they gain success. That's not how they, they're miserable and they're trying to like let you join the pity party with them. Then you've already seen the example of what doesn't work, didn't you? So now you know a better chance, you know better what may actually work and what you can now take a chance on, because you can check off the list what didn't go through or didn't turn out properly. But you got to be willing to walk that walk. And when there are people who don't want to listen, they want to box you in, or they want to keep you feeling fatigued, tired, and etc., you got to say, okay, if no one else is going to listen to me, I'm going to think outside the box. Yeah. My guides told me, my deities, whoever I'm speaking to, the messages they're leading me to, the channeled messages are all saying the same thing, that I need to get out of being in a particular box or a particular shell. And if no one else will listen, then I need to raise my vibration until I'm a vibration that you can't deny. And whoever can't fit in that space isn't meant to be in that space at that time, darling. Okay? That's a huge part in taking the chance on you and having self-love. We got 2 cards here that are like, wow. So we have, remember, we're in Mercury retrograde, guys. We have what to do when the Wi-Fi is down. And I feel like that also relates when your body wants to do one thing, but like your head's not quite in it. It's like what to do. What to do. Many things. You can go outside. You could actually like leave the phone inside on the charger and explore your backyard. Wow, the fascination of it all. And then we have when it's 4 a.m. and your mind won't turn off, because your mind is like the Wi-Fi device and it just keeps receiving information even if it's glitched. even if it's glitched. And if you're not taking the chance to really like center in, discipline yourself, and quiet your, quiet doesn't have to always be in the quiet to quiet your mind. What I mean is you can just dance, put on music, something that your mind can focus on without trying too hard, but it creates a repetitive like thing that you're doing, and it helps to discipline you when you're in those motions. Movement is one of the greatest meditations that you can do. It's not always just stillness. Stillness can be reached sometimes through movement. So yoga, dancing, singing, something that makes you focus, put your mind in a better space. I feel like the number 5, and so 45, 54, and that's the way I was moved to say it. 45, 54 is important here. It could be, I don't want to say this out loud, but it could be like someone's combination, like a combination to something, or a password. Not like a Wi-Fi. I mean, if it's a Wi-Fi password, I'm sorry. But I gotta say what I'm channeling, okay? So, but it's like it might be a passcode or something for somebody here. That's a sign, a big, big, big sign. Might be a passcode that you need to change. That's why your Wi-Fi is down, because Spirit's like, we're trying to keep you from being hacked, my friend. But again, I feel like it's a lot of reference to the head here, getting your mind right, getting your head right. Let's get some aura colors. I like to use V's Colorology deck. The deck doesn't come gilded. I did that myself, but I like to use V's Colorology deck as reading the auras. These can be colors that I recommend that you add to your space somewhere, you wear on you, you put in your line of vision to meditate on. Okay. We have amber, vitality, boldness, happiness. What was I talking about with that whole, are you happy with what you're doing? Or maybe you're doing something you're happy with, but you're not doing it with a whole lot of boldness and vivaciousness and vitality. You're just kind of like going through the regular motions and wondering why you're not feeling fulfilled. Why 5 minutes later after I had a customer, I fulfilled an order, dang, I still feel kind of like about it, because you're not celebrating those wins correctly. You get what I'm trying to say? You need to celebrate your wins, but you also need to enjoy the process, whatever that process may be, and be authentic and honest in it as you do it. Tap into that happy. Don't be all work, no play. Don't be that person who years later down the line, you're going to wish that you listened and had more fun and had more, We got indigo, justice, devotion, wisdom. And I feel like that devotion taps into the discipline energy as well. Okay? Do what you're guided to do. So don't let the days just keep passing by, and then you wake up realizing, shoot, I didn't do anything on my goals again. I'm another day away from my goals. See each day as getting closer to the goals, and use that to help motivate and discipline yourself to take action towards them. Your head isn't in the right space sometimes, or maybe your head's in the right space, but your body is feeling out of it. It goes back to that example I gave of cleaning the room, where it's like, I need to clean my space, and you're excited at first because you're like, yeah, it's going to be clear, I know the colors I want to use and what I want to do. And then you get in the room and you see all the stuff, and you're like, Now that same excitement turns into exhaustion. I'm gonna say the same thing I told my cousin. This is like a thing in our family. We put music on. We clean with the music on. We don't let nothing distract us, and we just have fun. We pause when we need to. We're not rushing to, you know what I mean? Like, don't overstress yourself. And it can be hard when you're in situations where you do have a lot to do and you don't feel like you have that kind of time. And that's when you really need to remind yourself that you do. So someone's name could be Amber. I recommend having these colors around you or meditating on them. See them in your mind's eye. When you were picturing images here, some of you may have seen indigo, Amber. And then we have burgundy, influence and ambition and individuality. Oh, I'm done, honey. We're done with the aura cards because that was pretty much everything. Bottom of the deck. Trust, sincerity, and depth. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Let's hop into the next message so we can close this off. We have companionship, giving someone your complete presence. Look at this. What were we talking about just now? Enjoying yourself, right? If you're not really enjoying yourself and you're not really feeling fulfilled, even when you're dealing with other people, clients, patients, but whatever, I don't know why I felt the need to say patients. Maybe somebody here is a nurse or a doctor. But when you're dealing with other people, you're not giving them all of you. You have these gifts to share, right? But you're not sharing those gifts to their fullest capacity because you're letting fears, doubts, a lack of self-confidence, whatever it may be, or just procrastination get in the way, and it messes with your head, it throws your mind off, and the mind eventually throws the body off, and then here we are. Some of you might feel like you need help, right? Like we have companionship here. You might feel like you need assistance in what it is that you need to do. Spirit's providing the assistance, but you might miss it if you keep sleeping them days away or procrastinating them days away, getting fatigued and tired. You might miss it if you're not getting your head in the right mental space because you won't center yourself or get meditative, right? If you keep working on something that's not fully fulfilling you, it might be kind of hard to come across those people who can actually contribute to you in a better way. And I want you to notice that this is like a purple burgundy. It's pretty much a burgundy color, and this is a deep brown burgundy. It's more of a brownish tint here, but they're both still burgundy. Right? So even in companionship, even in the assistance that you get, noticing your individuality, recognizing, being inspired. Let someone else's energy inspire you a bit here too, for the right reasons. And those who aren't inspiring you the correct way, walk away. Because it's time to give that astounding gift of your presence to people who deserve it. You don't have to climb the mountain alone, the whole climb. A lot of times there'll be people who pop up and can assist you on the journey up to the top, but you do have to show the universe that you're making the effort. You do have to show the universe that you want it. We have another card that fell out. Oh, okay, we have two cards. We have detachment. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, this is often when it's fulfilled, and we've been talking this whole time about someone not feeling fulfilled and that getting in the way because you're attached to maybe thinking something isn't going to work out the way you want it to. And I just got finished saying this is like a brownie burgundy, and here's this like orangey earth tone, this like brownish earth tone. It's really orange, but it's like a earthy brown. And then we have divine love. When you offer everything to the divine with detachment, boom, you begin a love affair with spirit. Perfect summary to everything I'm saying. And then the card I shuffled before I noticed the other ones were flipped is love itself, divine love and love. Divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation, only love itself. So no one else's ideals of what success looks like is yours. Why should you take this gamble on yourself to live your dreams? Because courage is calling you to, divine love is backing you. You do have people who will come in and support you when you walk away from the ones who aren't. Okay, let's get into the last group of cards. And cheers to this uploading with no issue. And it all making sense when it uploads. Because when I channel like this and Mercury retro's going on, honey, whatever comes out is what comes out, my loves. Make sure you comment below some of the things that you might have been, visually seeing. If any of these cards confirmed it for you. We have number 4. Ooh! Where's it at? I called it. When it's 4 a.m. Number 4. You are the joy seeker. What little victories can you celebrate? I said that. I told y'all 4 was important. I told you guys. The 5 came out first, but I heard 45, 54. It's either a combination. Someone needs to look it up as angel numbers, take it down to a single number. Maybe it's your life path, something like that. But that 4 is definitely important. That getting in balance, that getting stable is definitely important here. You are a joy seeker. You should be. But you might be finding yourself trying to settle for what you think, for mundane. Like, oh, I'll just do it this way because this makes more sense. This is a little more. Burgundy is a color to have around you. Someone's name might be like, wait, okay, I'm hearing something weird. I'm hearing bourbon, but then I'm hearing like it sounds like burgundy, but it's not. It's a name. And then like brandy, maybe? I'm hearing drinks, but I think they're people's names. Like brandy, bourbon, maybe Bourbon Street. Something with a bourbon, something with a brandy. We got 1111, baby. Everything is a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. What do you need in your life that you're not currently getting, that you should be taking a chance on, but you're not currently communicating? And during this Mercury retrograde, how can you slow yourself down mentally for a minute so that you can connect with yourself and catch up the right way? Because like I said, head space and body is really important here. 38. We have the collective field is impacting you. Unseen forces in action. How can you relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked? And I said, I believe earlier in this reading, I referenced that I said that there are entities trying to create distractions and get in the way. And I don't stutter. When I say entity, that's what I mean. There's no need for you to second guess what I'm picking up on. And they're creating situations or influencing people that get in the way of you feeling balanced. And if you're not working on some form of getting discipline, then it's easy to fall for it. And I was just talking also to pay attention to like the companions you have around. The divine is sending you people that you need with the proper presence, who your presence will be a gift for, but first you got to walk away from the fakies. Okay. And again, I'm going to try and get that reel posted or get it done as a carousel when IG stops like glitching. But by the time this is posted, should it all go through fine, you can see it in my Insta story. We have 16. Midas touch. Things are working out in your favor. In what ways are you abundant right now? Remember what I said about change your focus. Instead of, oh, I got all this stuff to do. I'm so fatigued. I'm so tired. Oh my God. Instead of it's, oh, I got this done today. Oh, I achieved this goal. This feels good. Change your direction. Change what you're occupying your mind with, so that your body and mind aren't playing enemy to each other. And instead they can work together. What has no bearing on what will be? What has no bearing on what would be? What does your ideal life feel like? Look and feel like? I said in that message in my Insta story, raise your vibration. Okay? Raise your frequency, because that'll make it easier for you to come out of any type of stagnant energy that you might have been experiencing, in my loves. Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at Mamina Divine Star Seed. This Instagram has links to any of my other official pages, but this is the one I use for my spiritual work. You can feel free to follow up there and get any other part of the message. But I'm going to say peace, love, and light for now, beautiful souls. Pray that resonated with you and helped you have some clarity and guidance on what's going on and the things that you might need to rearrange and take a chance on.
Get your copy of Love Confession Cyber Edition. Link in bio.